Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is May 31st. And first of all, I wanted to continue promoting my HRIS bootcamp. So I'm teaching in 8 weeks everything that I know, or rather everything that I wish I knew when I was starting my career. This is designed for entry-level individuals or early career people who want to get started into this very exciting HRIS or HR technology ecosystem. So if you know anybody, if you have your own needs, let me know. I'm starting a cohort tomorrow, which I'm really, really excited. Okay, today I wanted to talk to you about purging IDs. Okay, I think, well, first of all, let's start with the basics. I think everyone already knows that you can purge data, right? What does it mean to purge data? Basically means that you are completely removing it out of the system. This is different than deleting. Deleting in the traditional way, you delete it from, let's say, the UI or the regular processes. The record always stays behind the scenes. You can always restore it, right? Generally speaking. However, when you're purging something, right, you are completely removing that out of the database of the system, so you can restore it. Okay. Now, why would you want to do that? There are two main reasons. Number one, for data privacy considerations, especially driven by GDPR, you have to get rid of some of the data. Depending on the law, we're not going to get into details right now, but because of GDPR, you got to get rid of data, truly get rid of it. Number two, typically if you're implementing things or in your lower environments, you want to do data conversion exercises, etc., it comes really handy to be able to delete data. Now, here's the trick. And in fact, I'm going to share my screen to explain something that is not very intuitive. It's not one of those things that you're going to be using often, but once you use it, it's going to come really handy. See here. All right. So again, without getting into too much details, I'm going to navigate a transaction called data retention. Okay, this is going to say data retention management. And the default screen is this manual data purge, right? You can schedule these things. Again, I might do another video thoroughly explaining the different options in terms of data privacy or purging considerations, right? But as well as the mechanism of how to do it. But in this case, if I were to click here and create a new purge request, and let's say I'm deleting an employee central person. And again, why would you want to do this? Once you're live, you got a request from your DPO to get rid of someone, or you hire someone incorrectly and you want to start over. Or, I don't know, you did a data load that is incorrect, so now you got to clean things up, right? And so many other use cases. As long as the person is inactive, right, it's being terminated, you can initiate here a purge. Inactive user, enter the name of the user. Here's some exclusion if you want it. Again, not getting into too many details. You get it approved, it removes everything. Here's the trick, okay? Once you're purging here, let's think about it. Let's think like this database or what's behind the scenes as a spreadsheet, okay? Let's say in the first column, you have your unique identifier, which is going to be your user ID. As we know, that's something that you create or you get to create it, whether you create it or system generated, but you cannot modify it ever later on because that's just unique identifier, right? So that will be your first column, and then the next subsequent columns, all the data related to an employee. Okay, making this up, okay, just try to follow. Once we're purging the information here, the system truly gets rid of the entire data set, so the whole data for that record, with the exception of the user ID. The user ID remains there. Now you might be wondering, well, why and what's the point of it? I don't know the official answer, but I predict it's because it's just a mechanism to ensure that you're not recycling this user ID. That doesn't mean you cannot recycle them, but it means that you're going to do another step, which is what I'm about to show you here. But just want to be very clear here. When you're purging data through this method, right, create new purge request, and you're selecting the purge inactive user, you're removing all data with the exception the user ID. You're not removing user ID. Now, at this point, the user ID becomes meaningless, right? Because there's no data associated with it. It just gets recorded in the database. But you can't hire someone with the same user ID because it already recognizes. So you got to get rid of that. How do you get rid of that? My point here is that you got to do like a second step for this to work. I'm going to go back here to data retention management, and then notice that the second option, system identifier purge. Here's where you really get rid of the user IDs, right? You can get rid of all your lingering user IDs there. Again, at this point, the user ID is meaningless. So let's get the basics right. Why would you want to do this? Because you want to recycle user IDs. For example, you hire someone, you realize, or someone coming from onboarding 2.0, record got canceled for whatever reason, it's corrupted, right? You can rehire the person using the same user ID because they're already there, even though they might be the same person. So you purge the data, then you come here, and then you purge the system identifier, aka user ID. Why would you not want to do this if you want to prevent at all costs that the user ID gets recycled in any capacity? Anyways, if I were to select this and I click submit, all those lingering user IDs, boom, they get erased. Or you always got the option to do an import. It's just one column, so it's super simple, and you would enter there the user ID that you want to get rid of, and then that does the trick. Show you this here. What this looks like. Okay, so I'll put my user ID here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save, upload, run it, and now I'm able to recycle or use the user ID again. So, in summary, when you purge data, of course, probably everyone knows how to do it, but if you really want to purge the entire record, not just the data, but also the user ID in such a way that you can reuse a user ID for whatever reason you might want to do that, you have to do this second option, right, which is system identifier purge, which doesn't require, by the way, approval. You can just get into it. So that's what I have for today. If you got any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to assist in a reasonable way. Okay, I can't just come and talk to your clients and fix things for you, but whatever is reasonable, I can do. And of course, if you're a client looking at this or a company that needs some air support, consulting firm who just needs to enhance the team, I'm always available. Okay, so have a great day.